Thank you for tuning in to Voices That Guide with SVCC.
Welcome to another episode of Voices That Guide with SVCC. I am your host, Amapola Judge Shimp, VP of Partnerships for the Southwest Valley Chamber of Commerce. Today we have a special guest, one of my favorite mayors here in the Southwest Valley area, Mayor Kenn Weise.
Do you have 4 favorite mayors?
Now I have 5.
Okay, that's true.
Yeah, there is 5. But yes, so thank you so much, Mayor Weise. He is the mayor of the city of Avondale. And you guys have a lot happening. So we appreciate you taking the time out of your busy schedule to come and chat with us today.
This is going to be great.
It is. Um, so again, congratulations on winning the Outstanding Public Officials Award at our gala last Friday.
That was great. The entire event was great. I was just telling the team they knocked it out of the park, and I was honored to win the award. It was more than I expected.
Well, you have a lot happening, and you've been a public service for a very long time.
True.
So
20 years.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
So that leads me into my question. So can you share a brief overview of your journey in public service and what inspired you to take on a leadership role in the city of Avondale?
You know, I've always loved politics, and I always tell the story. I don't like the state and federal ugliness of politics. It's a circus, but I love local politics, and I had gotten involved with Avondale a little bit. I got appointed to council in 2006. Got involved in the city of Avondale a little bit on some committees, and then our former mayor Ron Drake resigned to run for Congress. The city charter says that the council will pick a new mayor from that membership. So they picked Marie Lopez Rogers to be mayor, but that left a hole for the council seat. So charter says we're going to pick a council member from the public. And I interviewed, I think there was either 10 or 12 people that interviewed. And at the end of the interview process, council had selected me, and that was in February of 2006.
Wow.
Yeah.
Now look where you are.
I know. I'm in an interview room at the Southwest Valley Chamber of Commerce.
This is so exciting. So Mayor Weise, it's admirable how you've dedicated yourself to the community. Can you highlight a pivotal moment or achievement in your journey that has significantly impacted Avondale's growth and development during your tenure? So 2006 to now. So that's a lot. You've seen the growth.
Yeah. I think coming in as mayor in 2014 and really changing the way the city looked at economic development. In 2014, I think we had built 35 new single family homes. That's what was permitted. We were struggling, we weren't struggling financially, but we were just struggling as an organization to get our footing back. And had really honest conversations with leadership and with council members and shared what my vision was going to be and how I was going to lead. And we slowly turned it around, but it was a focus on economic development because economic development pays for everything else. It pays for parks, pays for neighborhood and family services, it pays for police, it pays for fire. If you don't have businesses coming in, if you don't have residents coming in, taxes aren't getting paid, you're just not bringing in that revenue, and it's proven to be true.
Yeah, that's amazing. Well, we've seen that with the boulevard and all of the fun things that are coming down in that area. And then also, I don't think a lot of people know that you have Phoenix Raceway here in the city of Avondale.
Yeah, we were able to work with Phoenix Raceway when they expanded. They put almost $180 million in the track, state of the art. And shortly after that, we landed the first NASCAR championship race that had moved from Florida. And they have announced that in 2024 it'll be the 5th year that we're going to have it.
Okay.
And that brings its own share of notoriety just for the region itself. Because when NASCAR brings its championship race here, they're bringing 80 to 100,000 people. They're bringing all the media. It's broadcast around the world. And the entire region, especially the West Valley, kind of puts their hands up and say, okay, how do we help? What do we need to do? And that goes from Mayor Gallego in Phoenix out to Buckeye, out to Surprise. Everyone's been really helpful with this. But it's a huge revenue generator for us.
Yeah, that's amazing. And that's twice a year.
So there's a spring race that happens.
Yes.
And that's a normal spring race. And then the championship race that'll happen in about a month almost is the race that decides the NASCAR champion. And it's part of the whole playoff series. But it's really exciting. We're getting close to it.
Yes, it's right around the corner.
It is.
November. November is here it comes. So, okay, leads me to my third question. The city of Avondale is experiencing exciting economic growth. Could you give us insights into some of the key initiatives or strategies you're currently spearheading to foster economic development and support local businesses in the city?
I think the biggest one, which is what we talked about a little bit
Yeah.
offline, is the Boulevard.
Yeah.
Um, Formerly Avondale Boulevard, formerly 115th Avenue. And it was an area that the city had tried to develop for as long as I had been on council.
Okay.
And we got to a point probably 4 years ago, 5 years ago, when I went to the then city manager and I said, listen, we're telling people how special Avondale Boulevard is, but it doesn't look special, it doesn't appear special. We have the sports center there, which is great, but there's really little else. There's a couple hotels that are there and they do great, but they struggle to bring in enough people. We need to help them out. So we spent $5 million on redoing Avondale Boulevard and making it special. And that was Pierce Berry and her team that really had a hand in that. When you look at the heart structure, the
Yeah.
heart, it's awesome there. And I think the key factor to the boulevard was honestly letting staff run with it. I can remember the city council meeting that Cheryl Covert, who you know very
Yeah.
well, presented what their vision was for the boulevard. And council unanimously said yes. And now you look at it and you're going to have 2,000 multifamily units building on there. You've got two more hotels that were built. You've got family owned businesses that have gone into the retail part of the sports center. And the sports center is busier than ever. 600,000 people visit that every year. And that's busier than most spring training facilities. So the Boulevard, I would say, is number one. And again, employee driven, their vision, and they did a great job of selling it to council. And I think the medical corridor for what we're doing on McDowell Road. So you
Yeah.
see, we were there last week for another ribbon cutting.
Yeah.
Again, that was the team. That was Ken Chapa and his team saying, okay, we have a vision for McDowell Road. How do we transition it from retail at 99th Avenue? And how do we take it to Avondale Boulevard? Because you can't put retail everywhere. You don't want to put homes there. You've got to bring in business. And they developed it into a thriving healthcare corridor. And we see it growing every day.
Yeah, and it's amazing. And that you guys are really targeting and bringing in some key players
Right.
to bring that notoriety to the city of Avondale. So, I mean, you guys have Aveda.
Hmm. Yeah. Yeah.
So, you have
Yeah.
Aveda. And you know what I love is that that sports complex actually helps to support those small businesses that you have
Phoenix
there.
Children's Hospital is in there
Yes.
with a rehab clinic, and then you have Phoenix Children's Hospital that is kind of part of the boulevard and kind of part of the healthcare
Yeah.
corridor that just opened up their clinic, 70,000 square feet. In the final phase will be a hospital. And to have an organization, we talk about prestige and
Yep.
notoriety
Yep.
coming to
Yep.
Avondale, to have Phoenix Children's Hospital in our city, and not only there for a small clinic like it was for many years, but now expanding pretty quickly into a state-of-the-art medical facility that will service all parts of the West Valley. Yeah, it's pretty incredible where Avondale's come in the
Yeah.
last 20 years.
Well, and I mean, the growth is happening
Mhm.
out this way. So, that's exciting. So, leads me to my last question.
Already?
No, oh, I'm sorry, I have two more.
Okay.
So, collaboration is vital in building a thriving community. And it sounds like you guys collaborate
Mhm.
a lot, so it's good. How do you envision fostering stronger ties between the city and government, local businesses, and the residents of the city of Avondale? Can you share any successful examples of such collaborations?
Well, let's talk about collaboration between cities because I know where you're
Yes.
going with this question.
Yeah.
So, Prop 400
Yeah.
was a collaborative effort between all mayors, and Prop 400 is going to fundamentally change the West Valley, especially when you look at SR 30 and you look at all the projects that are happening throughout the entire West Valley. But every West Valley mayor was on board. There were even East Valley mayors that were on board. I mean, every mayor was part of it, but I always call out Mayor Wheatley from Queen Creek and Mayor Giles from Mesa, who advocated for projects in the West Valley before the legislature and before the governor. That tells you how important Prop 400 is. So we were able to build a very big coalition, a very broad coalition, and not only with cities, but with other organizations too, the business community. The chambers played an integral role in getting Prop 400 passed. You guys took the lead with it along with the Glendale Chamber of Commerce.
Hmm.
And really, it was those discussions and those meetings and that advocacy that really helped it happen, or really helped. Sintra with Westmark testifying down at the
Yeah.
legislature. And not only her, but every business organization, whether it was GPEC or East Valley Partnership or Arizona Chamber of Commerce, all had a hand in that. But now you have to take that collaboration and you have to take it more to a local level. And how do you do that? And I think you do that by having a very open, this word gets overused, but it's a transparent form of government.
Mhm.
It's not hiding what you do. And some cities are afraid to share information with residents. We're not in Avondale. We invite people to our boards, commissions. We want you to be a part of them. We want you to volunteer and hopefully one day get to a point where you want to be a part of leading the city as a council member or mayor. So I think we do a lot in the community. Our Parks and Rec department is a really great way of collaborating with our residents. It brings them out, especially new residents. We're adding tons of new residents every year. They want to learn about our city. Taking their kids to the park and festivals and events and the new aquatic center we're building helps people understand their city a little bit more.
Yeah, I love that. And you guys have really diversified your whole collaboration and your outreach. And I see that with the way that you guys are working with the small businesses, down to like your city council
Right.
and everyone that you bring on. So I do see like the collaboration and the outreach, and you're constantly seeing, like when I work with some of your development, economic development team, they're always looking to outreach to the Latino community. They're on Western, down
Right.
Western for the small businesses
We're a
to help
majority
thrive.
minority city.
Yeah.
So the Latino community plays a huge role, not only in recently, obviously, but in our history. It's who built Avondale. During COVID, when businesses were shut down, our economic development team, which was a very small team at the time, went out and knocked on every business's door in Avondale to see how they were doing. What do you need? How do we get you some government funding? Tell us what's going on. Every business in a city of almost 100,000 people. That's incredible to me. Our city manager right now is going out and visiting every business in the city to introduce himself and see what concerns they have, see what they like, see what they think we need to work on. That doesn't happen in cities, but it happens in Avondale.
Well, and that's what I love about the Southwest Valley area is you have a sense of small town.
Mhm.
And your city manager came from a smaller town,
Cottonwood,
Cottonwood. So I
which we
think,
all love.
yes, but I think, just bringing that little sense of community into this big city that is thriving and growing, and you're not losing what's important is the
Right.
people and who's here and creating that true value and that community.
And you've talked. Am I the second mayor you've talked to or third?
Second.
You talked to Joe Pizzillo,
Yep.
who um, I've always told Mayor Osborne and Mayor Pizzillo that I think Avondale has it a little bit easier than they do. We're a much more compact city,
Yeah.
so we can focus on smaller areas where they are so spread out that they have to focus on larger areas. And sometimes that's harder to do if you're a city manager or a mayor or a
Mhm.
council member. But I think it's a balancing act that we do really well in Avondale, probably better than most cities do. And that is balancing our growth without forgetting our history and who was important to that. So I appreciate you highlighting that.
Yeah, no, I really appreciate that. Um, Mayor Weiss, thank you for your time and for sharing your insights. Your dedication to the city of Avondale is truly inspiring. Is there any message or call to action you would like to convey to our listeners as we wrap up today's?
If you're not involved with the city that you live in now, get involved with your city. You have to be part of the solution. You have to be part of the growth. You have to be part of the answer that you're looking for. And if you're not willing to do that, who will do it? So,
No, I love that because it is true. Because to be part of a community, because when the small businesses come to me, I let them know. I go, you have to be part of it. You
it,
have to want to be part of your community.
you can't you can't start a business in a city and not get involved in that community
Yeah.
because the residents will know that you're not involved. And some residents don't care. They're gonna doesn't matter to them. But a lot of residents do care. They want to know that you're going to sponsor Little League or volleyball. They're going to want to know that you're going to be out there helping clean up Trace Rios down at the river bottom, or you're going to be involved with whatever things are happening at the city or other events. You're going to sponsor those churches and those organizations. They want to know that you're going to do that. And sometimes that's the best advertising.
Yeah, just being there and showing up, like you said. But again, Mayor Ken Weiss, I appreciate you.
This
I
is awesome.
appreciate your personality, and this is amazing. So thank you so much.
Take care. Thanks.
Thank you for tuning in to Voices That Guide with SVCC.